Okay, quarter till one. Oh boy, this isn't how I wanted to start this, but hey, it is what it is. How's everybody doing? So today we're gonna be out in the shop. Uh, so we're actually gonna get out of the office and over into the. Hold on a sec. There we go. Over into the shop. It took me a second because I had to get all the cameras set up. Um, that's the car that we're working on. So once again, yeah, I'll see you guys out in the shop here. Stand by for loss of signal as expected. I think you mean start late every day. I've been pretty dang good about that. It's just recently where, my yard decided to become a swimming pool without my consent that I really, really had some problems. All right. So let's go out there and let's get to work. Stand by for loss of signal from the garage or from the office as expected. Okay. Is this working? That's one dirty shop. Yeah. No. How am I coming in? 5x5? 5x5? Okay. Explain the title, please. The title of the YouTube stream is The Crew Cab Charger, Part 1. So, we finished the 59. The 59 F100 is good. We call that truck Freb. Freb is all good. Click, clack, clap, check. You don't think there's a stream for the NROL launch? Oh. 2-second delay. 1-second delay. Yeah, it's out of sync. Okay. Give me 1 second. Okay. We've observed the systems. We have to fix it. Are we good now? Sometimes you just got to give OBS a quick restart. It's most likely, that problem is most likely happening because my network switches are not adequate for moving a high def signal. I got to just swap them out. I'll do that. Okay, so we were working on the red truck. The red truck is good. It is good to go for now. I want to drive that truck around for the summer. So I was going to play Timberborn today, but I decided we were going to play My Summer Car for After Hours. And if we're going to play My Summer Car for After Hours, we might as well play My Summer Car for before hours in real life. So welcome to my summer project right here. This is the Crew Cab Charger. It's not a Charger. It's not a Dodge Charger, but it kind of is. This project here is a 69 Dodge Coronet 500 sedan. As you can see, it's got 4 doors. There's 2 on either side. This car is going to be, we want to get this thing, we want to make it nice. I want to make this nice. I have plans for what I want to do with this thing. and I think you'll like them. I won't tell you just yet, but what I want to do is fix it. There is a lot of things wrong with this. It does run, which is good. Well, it does something when you turn the key. It's kind of running, but it kind of doesn't. But so this thing, the reason why I call it a crew cab charger, okay? The reason why I call it that is because this car is on Chrysler's B platform from the 1960s and 70s. The Charger is on the B platform. In fact, if you took this car and flipped it over, and you took a 69 Charger and flipped them over, you would not be able to know the difference. This, being on the same platform, has all the same underpinnings as a 69 Charger. It's the same car. The only thing is it's aesthetically different, and it has 4 doors. It looks a little bit different, but you can still see, if you look at it, it still has got that Coke bottle, the Coke bottle styling like the 69 Charger. Now, I know what people are going to say. If you haven't seen, I've owned this car for some time, for what it's worth. But I know what people are going to say. Why don't you just, why do this? Why do this over buying a Charger? I don't have like 50 grand lying around to go and buy a 69 Charger. They are incredibly sought after. They're really sought after cars. Because of Fast and the Furious, because of Dukes of Hazzard. Well, I mean, if one in Fast and Furious is a 70, but that's another story. So, this is all the fun of a Charger, but it's not a Charger. I scored this car, like I said, I've had this car for a long time. I bought it in 2013 with my buddy. We bought it for $1,400. My buddy has since moved away, so don't worry about that. He basically, for all intents and purposes, gave me the car. So we bought it with the original intention of fixing it and flipping it. Obviously, that didn't happen. My buddy moved away. It was a guy that I worked with at Best Buy. He's a good dude. He's still around from time to time. If you're out there, man, you're the man. Love you, dude. So this car, it's been sitting. It's been sitting for a long time. I did get it pretty much good to go. And from basically around 2017 to around 2020, I drove it. I drove it in the summer times. Through the pandemic, it sit, and then we moved here, and then I fixed Freb. We had to fix the truck. So this has basically been sitting since the beginning of the pandemic. It's not great. The car wasn't that good to begin with. And when I say that good, I mean there's some problems. Yeah, some pretty serious problems with this car. It looks nice from the outside, but once you start getting into the nuts and bolts, or lack thereof, yeah, this car is going to be a lot of work. This channel, if you mute the sound, is much more enjoyable. Thanks. Thanks for that. Swiss cheese floor pans. Oh, it's worse than that. Okay. What's the current list of things to do? Oh, how much time you got? Mouse Hotel. There were mouses living in this at one point. They're gone now. So dumb question. Snow on it sitting isn't any worse than rain, right? I don't snow. Nah, I get it. Oh, here it comes. Oh, it's going to be a rot. Okay, where do you want to start? Here, let me switch the camera up. I also got the setups working so we can whoop. All right, so the tires, believe it or not, RC, are actually fairly new. I had them replaced in 2018. The date's a little old, but they got no dry rot on them. Believe it or not, the tires is actually one of the things that is not wrong with this vehicle. So, all right, full story. I'm going to show you guys what I want to do. this stream is show you guys all the problems. I can already tell you that the vast majority of people in here, and maybe people join throughout me showing everything, right? The vast majority of people here are going to say this car is not worth it to rebuild. You are wasting your time, and you would be absolutely right. Sure, absolutely. There's really no point in restoring a 69 four-door. That doesn't really make any sense. The amount of work that this car needs is basically on par with a restoration, similar to what we did to the 59. Fixing this car is playing on hard mode. But, you know I like doing that. You know I like doing that. I like playing on hard mode. It's fun. I enjoy it. I disagree. If you like the rig, you should work on it. It doesn't matter what other people think. And can't see me, that's precisely why I'm going to work on it. Now, here's the thing. Once again, you guys will see it. If you're watching it now, you're going to get this basically throughout this car's entire, restoration, right? And it does need to be restored. There's some really, really big things that need to be fixed. I'll show you in a moment. Yeah, you guys will hear that. People say, oh, why did you do that? Why did you do that? Why didn't you buy a two-door? Why are you putting your effort into a car that you're never going to see a return on investment? Okay, two things. One, like I said, absolutely right. If I do all the work and I completely restore this car, you're really, at best, you might push. So if I put like $5,000 worth of restoration into it, it's probably going to increase the price by about $5,000. Now, here's the thing. If I did the same amount of $5,000 to a two-door car, so a car with a coupe, which is way more sought after, you put $5,000 of work into that, because late 60s Mopars are very popular because of Dukes of Hazzard, Fast and Furious, etc., etc. If I put the same amount of money into a two-door, I'll probably like double my investment or even triple it. Okay? Here's the problem. This four-door in this condition was $1,400. A two-door in the exact same condition as So the mic's probably back now. There's probably a little bit of background buzz because, yeah, some dingbat forgot to charge the base station for the microphones. Hi. Okay, so what I was saying, this four-door car I bought for $1,400. Okay, you want a two-door car in the exact same condition, the exact same starting point, 10 grand, 15 grand. All day. Mopars are entirely sought after. I don't have 10 grand to buy a car and then spend another 15 after that, or like 5 to 10 another after that to fix it. I don't have the money for that. Nor, if I bought a coupe, I would be worried about restoring it the right way. And yeah, because if you want the car's value to be, if you want to get the full value of the car, blah, 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 you have to restore it the way the factory did. No, we're not doing that. The reason why I bought this originally was to flip it. Now, I want to fix it. I want to fix the thing. And this is the second part of what I was talking about before the mic cuts out. I want to know how to fix these things. I can figure it out. We have all the tools to fix this car here. Everything in the shop. Nice and organized, too. Oh, nice, Trey. Hot staging ring is on 14. Good, good. So, long story short, guys, if you wanted to flip cars and make money off of it, this would not be a good candidate. What this would be a good candidate for is take all the parts off of it and put it on a two-door shell. Here's the thing. Two-door shells, I'm talking about just the structure of the car. Two-door 69 Coronet shells. Those go for like $7,500 bucks. $5,000 to $7,500 bucks. It's absurd, especially after COVID. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. One, I don't have the money to do that. Okay. Two, I have this car. It's right here, and I can do whatever I want to it. No one cares. It's a four-door. There's no value in it. No one should give a frick. That, and if I had a coupe and we restored it, and say I did it everything to factory spec, everything was perfect, it was like a perfect frame-off like restoration, I'd be afraid to drive the stupid thing. I wouldn't want to drive it around. I wouldn't want to mess it up. Four-door? No one cares. No one cares. So let's rebuild this thing, and let's have some fun with it, because I do have plans. I do have plans. They rhyme with Jive Point Evan Blemmy. That's what the plans rhyme with. Thanks, Ace. They rhyme with that. Gonna drive it to Starbase? Oh, I don't know, maybe. Once again, Shannon, this car needs a lot of work. You saw a 65 wagon on Marketplace. Nice, David. Suspension upgrades? I don't know. It depends. Something engine, something. Yeah, I might have a line on some good stuff. All right, cool. So, nice. Blemmy, yeah. Jive Point Devon Blemmy. Blemmy, yeah, we'll call it that. So, yeah, Brandon, that's actually the other point. The other point is I don't know how to restore a B-body Chrysler. I have no idea. I'm going to learn. I'm going to learn on a car no one cares about. Okay? Fair? Cool. Sweet. Now that we got all that out of the way, I'll refer people to this VOD. Be like, hey, look right here. In fact, mods, one of moderators, can you bookmark this point? That's the reason. Four-door cars aren't worth it. They're not worth it to restore, but it's worth it if you want to learn. And I want to learn. Put hexagonal heat shield tiles on it. Oh, yeah. Sorry if you've already been asked. How much did you get this for? Knight, I bought this for $1,400 in 2013. Right now, I've checked the prices. I've checked the prices of these things. There are four-door Coronets around, and four-door Roadrunners, and four-door Coronets, four-door Roadrunners. They're around. They go for $3,000 to $4,000 right now. So the price has gone up, and price is appreciated, and it's appreciated past inflation, which is pretty cool. But yeah, like I said, if we put $5,000 of work into this car, I mean, $5,000 of parts, the labor is being done by me, right? If we put $5,000 of work into this car, I don't know. If we get it like completely mint, 100% good to go, painted, etc., probably on a good day, maybe $7,500 to $10,000, and like that means it needs to be perfect, like turnkey, running and driving, good to go. I don't know, like, yeah, it has to be like ace. That's like paint, etc., like that's probably where it'll end up. Like I said, if I put $5,000 into a coupe, it would be worth like 25 G's. But you can't find coupes. You can't find them. And if you do, it's always somebody that has, a shell of okay, I'm going to speak Mopar, speak to people for a second. So it's always like a 68 or a 69 Coronet shell, holes in the floorboards, holes in the trunk, bad frame rails. And even then, it was like a 318 904 car with a 7 1/4 rear end. And people are like, oh yeah, it's a two-door car. I know what I have, 10 grand. It's like, no, I'm not doing that. No, I'll buy one of these. You can still find these for a good price. Like I said, 3 to 4 G's. You got to be willing to do the work, though. Bro, love more door Mopars. So, yeah, there you go, Clark. No, leave it ratty? I don't know. Like I said, there's no real paint to fix or mess with. So, who knows? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know what I have. I know what I have. Yep. You got to put cop everything on it. I know it's not a Monaco, but still. We can put cop tires, cop suspension, cop shocks. Chrysler standardized a lot of stuff, Panta. They standardized stuff to save money. Chevy is notorious for this, and I personally think that Chevy did it better, but is that the car from Ace Ventura? No, no, that was a Monte Carlo. This is a 69 Coronet. Dodge, not Chevy. But Chrysler was good at doing this, Panta. Like, so they made one style of car in 1960 and then made a smaller version of it and then made a bigger version of it, and that's it. They made the B body, and then they made the A body, and then they made the C body. C body's full-sized. B body is mid-sized. Mid-sized. I know, it's a mid-sized American car from the 60s. What do you want? It's huge. I get it. Thing's 19 feet long. It's gigantic. I understand. And then the A body, which is their compact, which is about the size of a mid-sized car now. But most of the parts standardized across the board. So, you know, Panta, we go around finding 74 Monaco parts. They could probably put them in here. They'll probably bolt in. In fact, most of it will. But, you know, we'll see. Okay, how's the rust? How long to fix it? It's going to take a while. Hey, Gravioli, it's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark out and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it. So, they did make police car versions of this, Coronet 500s. They made a Coronet 500 cop car. So, there are cop cars out there. And they came with a 383 and a 727, which is pretty cool. Unfortunately, the 440 was never put in four-door cars, only two-door. Yeah, right? It's BDR 549, Panta, but yeah. So, all right. Now, what's wrong with it? Okay, so how much time do you have? The engine has a lifter tick. The transmission actually works. The drive shaft works. The rear end leaks a little bit for the drivetrain. The radiator's clogged, it's old, it's leaking, it needs to be replaced. The brakes don't work. Yeah, the brakes don't work. The e-brake does work. Let's see, what else? What else? The coolant temperature line doesn't work. The windshield wipers do work. The lights work. The directionals work. That's good. Let's see, what else? I'm just kind of going front to back here. Yeah, lights work. All the doors open and close, no problem. That one might need to be adjusted a little bit. This quarter panel has been replaced. This was, this car got hit right here, and they replaced the quarter panel. No other structural damage as far as I can see, but whatever. The seats need to be reupholstered. It needs new carpet, new headliner. It needs new floorboards. It needs a new torque box cross member. It needs rockers. It needs a trunk pan. It needs trunk pan extensions. The quarter panels need to be patched. Part of the frame rail is gone at the very back of the car. It needs a new rear sill. It needs a new rear bumper mount. But the bumper's fine. It needs a new rear bumper mount. I think that's it. How old is it? It's from 69. I replaced the gas tank in 2017, but we should probably drain it. Get a cardboard sheet, Freiberger list. Yeah. It actually doesn't need new tires. It's got new tires on it already. Those tires are fine. Yeah. I'm going to show you guys. That's why I'm just telling you. So, like I said, torque boxes are gone. That's bad. That's really bad. That's a huge structural component to this car. That needs to be replaced. Fortunately, the K-member frame rails up front are good. Frame rails, most of the frame rails back are good. The rocker panels have the outer part of the rocker and then the inner part of the rocker. Inner parts of the rocker is fine. The outer parts are gone. We need to replace those. It needs some, like a lot of little things up front. The brakes don't work. All 4 corners probably need to be rebuilt. I did rebuild them, Midget, a little while back, but I had no idea what I was doing, so we probably should rebuild all 4. The brake line going from front to back doesn't work. What else? The dome light works. Does that help? It's got 4 drums, 4 11-inch drums. No low ballers. Didn't you buy a lift? I'm waiting on my tax return for the lift. And yeah, that whole drainage project kind of screwed me a little bit. But don't worry, we'll get to that point eventually. The windows are good. They leak. The seals leak, so the seals need to be replaced, but the windows are good. All 4 doors are fine. There's no rust there. Yeah, I'll take the camera around here in a moment and I'll show you. Yeah, so here, I guess we'll start up in the engine bay. So here, I don't know what type of lift I want yet. Okie dokie. So let's go over here. Let me line up. I got to line up the camera shot because we're good like that. You know, I got my cameras up and running, which is nice. So I got that going for me, which is nice. Okay, let's dive in. So here's the engine bay. Believe it or not, guys, most of the car structurally from about here forward is completely fine. It's actually totally okay. That is the original motor. It is in there. It is a 318, so it's a 5.2 liter. It's got power steering, which is actually super cool. Yeah, a lot of these cars came with manual steering boxes. But it does have power steering because it's a 500. You got a nice heavy-duty alternator in there. It does have a 2-barrel. It has a 2-barrel carb, which is, you know, it exists. That's cool. All right. Did you work on any Corvettes? No, that's my uncle's thing. I'm not too big of a Chevy dude. However, on the other side of the shop, I do have a 327 solid lifter motor out of a C2. That's pretty cool. All right, so you know what? We don't want to go messing with the engine just yet. So, but I'll put the light up here. So let's take a look. Here, I'm gonna get you guys off the mount here. All right, so that's a wire. All right, let's get the camera up here and start looking around. So the hood is actually in good condition, and that's pretty good because these things rust. It rusts out here. That's just scale. We could fix that. That's just flaking paint, basically. That's the light. Here, I'll show you. So no rust. These things really like to rust up here. There's no rust up in there. The hood is actually in good condition. The thermal insulator on the back side of the hood decided that it wanted to become a mouse house. Don't worry, I've since evacuated all of that. The radiator is no good. It does have a pinhole leak, and it doesn't really keep this thing clean very well. But like I said, power steering car right there. Big alternator. I'm not sure why. There's not really much in the way of power options here. It's got no air conditioning for what it's worth. There's no AC. There is a heater, though, and a defroster. The wiper box is still intact. That's actually worth some dough. But yeah, in here there's a lot of stuff in here. Like, that's the original harness right there. The original solenoid is there. Original wiper motor. Voltage regulator, ballast resistor. That has some stuff in front of it. This is all pretty good to go. Like I said, it does run, but yeah, this, like in here structurally, if you look down there, that's the K member or front cross member that's holding the engine, this piece right here. There's not a lot in the way of rust back here. Really, it's not bad. Like if you look at both sides, it's actually quite good. A lot of the original wiring is here, which is crazy that mouses didn't get at it. The horn does work. That's the horn relay right there. The horn does work, which is pretty cool. That's the wipe. Dude, the wiper washers actually work, which is pretty sick. Battery tray has seen better days, but it definitely is there. If that helps. I did have to replace the negative ground at one point. That was me. It's got a new master cylinder in it. Well, new-ish comparatively to the whole car. And I got stainless steel lines up front. So fixing the brakes up front shouldn't be that big of a deal. Up front, the grill is fine. The grill is mint. It's perfect. Even that 500 logo. That's all good to go. The front bumper is fine. There's a little bit of a chipped running light right there. The bezel is chipped a little bit, but you can buy those. That all works. Front bumper does have a, well, that little guy. See that little guy? I wouldn't worry about that little guy. Yeah, there is a couple of broken bolts up here, and you know, the front core support, I'm pretty sure it's not supposed to do that. See that? That's probably not great. Yeah, that's not supposed to do that. You need that. That's it's not necessarily structural, but it is kind of, you know, holding the whole grill together. That's not ideal. But once again, it can be fixed. I need someone I trust who knows C5s and C6s. Oh yeah, Joe. If anything, I would know older Corvettes. My family's a bunch of Corvette people. The rest of my family's all Chevy guys. Actually, well, some Ford guys. But yeah, this thing does run. It runs okay. It runs pretty good. I mean, but once again, we are getting some lifter tick. So here, you know, I'll show you. Yeah, we'll just put that right there. Here, so let's go. So saying we could put this in Starship's payload bay. It could fit. Let me just open this up here. Just cracking the garage a little bit, dudes. All right, so let's put our negative terminal on. Let me get the keys. And I did start messing with this motor a little bit. I don't, truth be told, I drove this car around. When I drove it in 2017, I didn't know nearly as much about cars as I know now, especially old stuff. So, truth be told, I mean, this motor has a, I don't know, the odometer's reading 96,000, but judging by the condition of this car, it's probably rolled over, so it's probably closer to 196,000. So we'll, I'll show you here. Ready? Lifter tick. You hear that? I don't know if that's coming through on the mic, but the motor is making a sound like if you took two quarters and you kind of hit them against each other. Here, or just some metal. It's making this noise. That's not a good noise. That means something in the valve train is not happy. What oil is in it? Yes. Come on, baby. Oh, yeah, that's right. I undid its temporary fuel system, so it was only going to run for a second. But yeah, it's got lifter tick, which is, it's tired, man. What do you want? It's 56 years old. Yeah, see, we undid its fuel system. Fuel pump does work though, so I did get that working, which is nice. I got that going for me, which is nice. But it does run. It just doesn't run very well. It's developing a lifter tick. It's getting worse, which means either a lifter is stuck in the down position and wiping out our camshaft, or it's stuck in the up position and it's bending a push rod. It's one or the other. It is the lifter. I'm pretty dang sure. Once again, this motor is old. I don't know what you want. It's old and it leaks and it's tired. We need to take it out and fix it. But it can be fixed. These old engines aren't that hard to work on. As long as the pistons and the crankshaft are fine, you're good. Everything else can be replaced. Heck, even that can be replaced. But pistons and crankshaft is a little bit more involved than replacing heads. So the motor is going to come out. It's probably going to have to. Either way, guys, like I would want to get it out. I would want to get it out because it has 200,000 miles on it, you know. But we can diagnose, we can do a stream where we'll diagnose this thing and really try to isolate that problem. But, you know, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. So yeah, that's the front of the car. Like I said, it does run. It does run. It run, with the exception of that lifter tick. If we could figure out a way to get that lifter tick out, like either by just replacing a lifter or maybe new lifters and a new cam, you know, hoping we didn't wipe the camshaft out. Dude, that motor actually doesn't sound too bad. It really doesn't. It really does not sound bad at all. It's just one lifter on one of the cylinders is no good. Now, what does the lifter do? The lifter, so this engine has two valves over each cylinder. One is for the intake, one is for the exhaust. You need the intake valve to open to get fuel and air in, and you need the exhaust valve to open at a different time to get the exhaust out to go out to the mufflers, right? To go out the back of the car. Those are actuated by a rocker. So the valve is here and it's spring-loaded, so it wants to stay closed, and the rocker actually hits it. The rockers are behind this. They actually will pivot on a rail or on a rod. They'll pivot back and forth to open and close the valves at the right time. What actuates the valve? There's a push rod, a big, basically bar of metal, or just a dowel, metal dowel that goes down into the motor, and the camshaft is down there, and the camshaft has lobes on it, right? And when they spin, they actuate the push rod. But in between the camshaft and the push rod is a hydraulic flat tappet lifter. Basically, that's a lifter that uses hydraulic pressure to dampen out the movement of the camshaft and will keep the whole thing lubricated. These lifters need to ride on the camshaft. That's metal on metal, so you need a lot of oil up in there. If they get stuck, the lifter can be compressed a little bit, but if it gets compressed and stuck in the compressed position, right, the cam's just going to be running up against nothing, or if it gets stuck in the compressed down position, the cam's going to be pushing against this thing and break it, which is what that ticking noise most likely is. Once again, that's a little involved, but that can be fixed. Like, it can be fixed relatively simply. So, once again, it's ticking, but other than that, that motor's actually not too bad. Not bad for a 200,000 mile engine. Really, it's not. It's really okay. We could convert it to rollers if I want to put the money in. The converter valve is bad. Yep. Yep, that's right. Have you made sure the hood insulation is not asbestos? It's not asbestos. If it was, it would have killed all the mouses that were living in it. And even if it is, oh no, it's a car from the 60s. Oh no, it had, oh no. Or give them superpowers. Yeah, Tessa, either way, it might be wiping the camshaft. Sorry, I know older cars used it a lot. Asbestos on these cars, John, were most likely in the brakes amongst anything else. Not this. They wouldn't use asbestos for a cheap hood insulator, dude. It's most likely just cloth. Could be fiberglass, but yeah, they wouldn't. Asbestos you'd have to spend money to do that. So you think of it like an exotic material. Like they didn't put it on everything. They put it where it was needed. Were there really mice in there? Yep, yep, yep. Okay, so I'm gonna move the cameras. We'll go to the interior. We'll move the camera around. Okay, over there. All right, so here's the interior here. It's actually, the dash and everything is actually not really in the worst condition. It needs a new dash pad. It's a little cracked if you look up there, up above the steering wheel. Steering wheel's seen some better days, but, well, the horn was working. It's not working now. Yeah, that's my custom upholstery kit. Yeah, and this is a piece of wood. Okay, so, yeah, everything in here does work. The dome light works, the headlights work, the flashers work, the windshield wipers work, the directionals actually do their thing, which is pretty cool, but it's not working in one direction. It doesn't stay. It clicks down, but not up. But that all does work, which is actually pretty sweet. The radio did work in 2017. It does not work now. So, you know, that's good. This thing did have a stereo put in, or speakers put in at some point. That's not supposed to be there. I don't think that speaker's any good. I don't. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's no good. Pretty sure. But yeah, if you look in here, it has been patched a lot. Like patch there, there's a patch there, and then there's another one under it. These cars had problems. The problem is drainage on the inside. Modern cars have actually a lot of holes in here, like in the boards. So if water does get in there, it drains out. These things, they hadn't figured that out yet in '69. So if you had a leak, right? If you had a leak through your windshield or something and water started pooling down there, that was the end of that. And that's exactly what happened here. So once again, yeah, that hole, this is all, somebody riveted that in there. It's all riveted, very riveting. See that? That's not great. It needs this part of the floor. On both sides. The other side is not nearly as bad as this side, but yes, this is not great. As you can see, it doesn't have any rug. The rug is long gone. Somebody tore that out a long time ago. Same with the headliner, etc., etc. Here, we'll let you guys off the hook again. And here, come on in. Come on in with me. So it smells like it smells like a dirty diaper in an old folks home or something. It doesn't smell great in here, but you can see that's been patched too. That's not good. Yeah, that's also not good. That's mouse house. That needs to be patched. The trans tunnel is fine. It's okay. There is there's no brakes. We got to fix that. That's probably high up on the list of things to do. It'd be nice if the car can move and stop. It'd be easier to turn it around and mess with it. Cigarette lighter works. Yeah, it's definitely hot. The glove compartment I actually did, so I've done that already. Did that a little while back. It's actually brand new and it does work. Even the light for it works. See it over there? I haven't put the light back in. I probably should put that back in so you know that all works. But the radio, let's see, anything? No, I'm going to go ahead and say that that's not working. How about the blower? Blower motor? Fan? No? Nope. That's not great. Hey, the dash light works. See, you can flip it on. Flip. The trim in here is actually okay. This is not, see, this is not a factory AC car. If it was, there would be vents here, and then there would be a vent right here. But see, that's all we could put it. We could retrofit it with it if we wanted to. The biggest part, the hardest part would be finding this dash piece. But then again, you don't need that. You got vent windows. That's pretty good. That's good enough air conditioning. Manual mirror, it's only got a mirror on one side because mirrors on both sides on cars, US cars in the 60s were optional. But you can see that 97,105. Yeah, that's definitely, I used to think it was 97,105. That's definitely 197,105. A good way to tell, and I learned this from Vice Grip, is if the pedal is worn out. See the pedal? Pedal's worn. See what I'm talking about? That's from somebody putting their foot back and forth, back and forth. But you know, now that I'm looking at it, that's not actually in the worst condition. It might actually be 97,000 original. Who knows? But see the oh, you guys can't see that at all. The lights do work, ish. The clock, unfortunately, does not work. Neither does the temperature coolant temperature. That doesn't work. The washer, let's see, does the washer work? I mean, last time I checked, it did work. You see. That is doing something. I don't know what it's doing, but it's doing something. And then over here is the manual choke. We don't need that anymore. I unhooked that because I lost the pieces to it. That is your high beams right there. That's your high beam toggle. That actually does work. And the e-brake actually works, because that's how I've been stopping the car when I need to move it. So that actually all works. The vent windows, or the floor vents, those work, but they're full of mouse house, pretty sure. Both of the vents do work. That opens up the vent over there. I don't think we can see it open, but it does work. I can hear it opening and closing. But yeah, there you go. There's the dash. We do need new floors, that which is not great, but it is what it is. We don't need a lot of new floor, if that makes sense, because if we go into the back seat, take a look. We go into the back seat, floors down in there are fine, which is actually pretty sick. Oh, there's the speaker cover. Nice. We will replace the seat belts. I would not use those. Those are 55 years old or 56 years old. Floors down here is actually pretty good. Actually not bad. Yeah, pretty good, pretty solid. Yeah. The rear seat is actually in pretty good condition too, but it's been a little, the mouse has decided to start eating it. If you look in there. Yeah, they started to eat it. Partial shelf is okay, but it leaks. All the door locks work, for what it's worth. Now, here, let me go back and bring you guys back over here to the front. Here, let me switch this back. Okay, so, hey Urban, what's going on? What are we doing in the shop? I'm showing everybody how much work we need to do to get this thing, hey, Bits, Space Pope, bless this trench. I wonder if there's a way to delete the B-pillar. You know what, Goldtech? I don't want to. I want to keep it four-door. I don't want, Mopar never made a four-door no-post car like Chevy did with the Impala. But Mopar never did that. That's because this is a unibody car. I don't want to cut that out. This post right here, the B-pillar is this thing for the people that don't know. If you open up the car and look, see this thing? This big hunk of metal that goes from the roof down to the floor. This is the B-pillar. A-pillar, B-pillar, C-pillar is back there. That's where the car connects to the, down to the back, where the roof ends. This is a lot of structure, believe it or not. And I didn't know this. I learned this from a YouTube channel called Uncle Tony's Garage. Uncle Tony's Garage, he's from New York. He's a good dude. He doesn't talk like that, but hey, whatever. I learned that from him, that this is actually a ton of structure, and it makes the chassis way more rigid. People just, it makes it way more rigid, but it's also heavier, which is why, once again, that's why two doors originally were sought after and four doors weren't. Let me just put it this way. With my plans for this, we're gonna need more chassis rigidity. Read into that however you may see fit. Bless this work in progress. Yeah. We're probably going to need more chassis rigidity with what I want in here. Subframe connector kits do exist for this car. Yeah. Yeah. They do. I don't know. I haven't accepted delivery of the things that I want to tell you about with my plans for this car. But if the plans do turn out good, like I said, my plans rhyme with Jive Point Devon, Blemmy. So, yeah, rigidity is probably key.
Oh, this is space. I'm in space.
Hey, Matt, with 10 subs. Thanks, man. Thanks. I can see it now, EJ on the F1 track. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to need structure. What year is it? 69. 69 Coronet. We're going to need some structure. So, I actually want four doors for what I want to do with this, cuz yeah, you'd need to do a lot more structural bracing with a two-door version of this car. The two-door cars are lighter, right? But the two-door version of this car, like a Charger or a Roadrunner or a Super Bee, they don't have this post. There's nothing holding the roof. There's nothing like triangulating your roof. If you think about this car kind of like a bridge, right? You have, the upper surface of the bridge, right? And then you have the floors, which are the lower surface of the bridge. The more things that connect the roof or the top part of the bridge to the bottom part of the bridge, particularly with triangulation, which we don't necessarily have here because triangular doors don't exist, but the more things that connect the top to the bottom, the more structurally sound it's going to be. That's why people put roll cages in cars, right? You put a roll cage in because it's more things that connect different points of the car, top to bottom, right? Jive Club 7, you into jazz? Yeah. You smooth jazz flute. Did you order a new mic too? Or turn down the game? There seems to be a loose XLR cable or something. No, there's not a loose XLR cable. What's going on? Yeah, I'm going to walk over here. I need another cough drop. What's going on, dude, is the base station is plugged in and charging because I forgot to charge it. So you could either listen to the sounds of silence or me with a little bit of a buzz in the background. Like I said, it's the base station. It's charging. I need a grounding loop out here. Yeah, thanks, though. Audio is a bit sad, popping a bit plus a buzz. Once again, it's one or the other, dudes. I'm sorry about the popping. I'll fix it next time. Oh, Jesus, no blower, please. No blower. Dude, I'm not screwing with this hood. No way. Absolutely not. I'm not going to cut a hole in that. That would be, all that would be doing would be like taking money and throwing it into a barrel and lighting it on fire. I'm not cutting a hole in a 69 Coronet's hood. Mats, thank you for the 10 subs, dude. I appreciate it. You're the man. Yeah, the buzzing is the ground issue. Like, once again, I might lose audio here, but the buzzing will stop. Ready? Is it gone? See what I mean? Yeah, there's not a lot of battery left, so I apologize, dudes, about the buzzing, but yeah, if it becomes too much of a problem, I'll find another lapel mic. All right, you're good. Yeah, so, okay, in case anybody didn't understand, I might have a line on a 5.7 liter Gen 3 Hemi for this car, a fuel injected 345 cubic inch engine from an old Dodge Ram. Yeah, with this car, I want to put a modern, I'd like to put a modern engine in it. Well, modern, 2004 is not a modern engine at this point, but whatever. So that, from an engineering standpoint, putting that in here, they make mounts. Everybody makes mounts for that, for a 5.7, for a Gen 3 Hemi to go in here, right? Stock ECM or no? It matters with Dodge, if I recall correctly. How about we get it running first and then figure that one out? Because, once again, well, not once again, I haven't told you guys this. We might be having I might get my hands on a donor vehicle. It depends. Like, yeah, so like I said, it's an engine from 2004 because it's currently sitting inside a 2004 Dodge Ram. So, Hellfish, let me put it this way. If the ECU is free, we're using the stock ECU. Where is Titan? Here's an important question. Where's Titan? Titan was hanging in the shop with me this morning. Dude, he's, I think Brimo is taking him out for a WALK, just in case the stream is on. If I send you a nice 8.5 by 11, if I sent you a nice 8.5 by 11 of myself, would you hang it in the garage? Unlikely. Still a beautiful car despite the issues. Thanks, Broncos. Yeah. Yeah, so a 5.7 Hemi, from an engineering standpoint, is way more than the 175 horsepower that motor made. Yeah, it's way more. That's like doubling the horsepower and probably adding 33%, repeating, of course, more torque. Even if it is tired from a 2004 Ram, we can pep that engine up pretty nice and, give this car a good 300-400 horse, 300-400 foot-pounds from 5.7. Those engines are pretty stout. They're pretty well made. Yeah, and it's not a tired 318 with 6-figure mileage on it. Now, don't get me wrong. I have this thing about modifying cars, okay? If you've watched with me, the way I like to engineer out what I want to do and engineer out my build, and I mean engineering, like the way I want to do this, if we're going to put a 5.7 Hemi in this thing, okay, I do not want to modify in the car. I do not want to modify in the car in a way that makes it unreversible. I always add interchangeability and modability into whatever we do. I did it with Freb. The engine cross member in Freb can be taken out. It's 4 bolts. The transmission cross member in Freb can be taken out. It's 4 bolts. So if I want a different motor in there, 8 bolts, and you can pull the engine, provided you unhook all the accoutrement. The accoutrement? Accoutrement? What the heck is that? So, Wait, 150 horsepower? There were 1600 cc four bangers that do that back in the 70s. Yeah, at like 6,000 RPM. This thing makes like 150 horse at 4,000, but it makes like 300 foot-pounds of torque, 9-to-1 compression. It's not designed to make power, dude. It's not a race car engine. I mean, Tessa, if you want to compare it to the performance engines of the time, a 426 Hemi, a Hemi Coronet with a 426 in it and a 727 makes 600 horsepower at 8,000 RPM. So, I mean, you're comparing a performance motor to this was seen as the economical option for 69 Coronets. So, I mean, the Hemi could rev to 8,500 all day with a 4-barrel, right? 8,500 with a 4-barrel and make like 600 horsepower from the factory with the right tuning. So, I mean, pick your poison. It's all about it's relative, you know? Did you finish that other project? Yeah, Mats, the red truck is good. Freb, the 59 is good. It's outside with a heavy duty cover on it because I put a lot of work into that car. I don't need rain screwing it up. Yeah, I drive it. I drive the thing. It's drivable. It is a drivable, 100% operable vehicle. That's it. It's just like, it's good to go. We could probably do more with it. Don't get me wrong. We could spend a lot more time with that car, but it's actually good enough that I just want to drive it around during the summer. You know, when we're done with this, maybe we go put a bigger engine in it. Who knows? I made it modular so you can undo everything. So, what I mean by that, that's the original motor. That's the motor that rolled out of the factory, this car rolled out of the factory with. Same with the transmission, same with the rear end. It's all the original stuff. If we're gonna put the 5.7 in it, I want to modify the car in a way where everything is reversible and we could revert it back to its original configuration if we absolutely ever want to. I'm also keeping the 318 because that's the matching numbers motor. It's a 4-door, nobody cares, but I think that's super cool that that motor has been in this car for 56 years, and if I do take it out, I'm going to keep it. And if we ever sell the thing, I'm just gonna I'll put it back in. So when we modify these things, I modify them in a way where everything can be reversed. So don't cut a hole in the damn hood. If we ever wanted to put a blower on this thing, I would get a fiberglass hood. I'm keeping this. This hood is not rusty. It has no rot on it. It is a mint condition hood. The paint's a little bad, but whatever. Whatever, no problem. So, that was the truck you road trip from the West Coast? No, that was the 97. That's a little bit different. What transmission will you put behind the 5.7? Believe it or not, the stock transmission, the 904, that's actually in there. So it's a 3-speed automatic. That actually fits. It'll bolt to it because Chrysler never changed the bolt pattern. You just need a torque converter, a different size torque converter that they make tons of because this is a pretty popular mod. Or you get an electro blower that could sit wherever. No. It's a 318 Baron, yes. 5.2 liter. It's a little gutless. Like I said, it's the economical option. Now the plus side is that this motor gets pretty good fuel economy for a 5.2 liter engine from the 60s. But I'll get better fuel economy with a 5.7 liter Hemi from the 2000s. And also it's a Hemi. That's cool. How many kilometers does that blue car have on that stock motor? So Zizep, the odometers on these cars only go to 100,000 miles, okay? That's 160,000 kilometers, all right? It's only 5 digits. So once it hits 9999999, it's gonna roll over to 000001 again. The current odometer reads 97,500 miles, which is close, that's 155,000 kilometers on the clock, but that could be 197,000 miles on it. It could be that. And if it is that, it's more like 320,000 kilometers on the clock. it's tired. Either way, tired. These cars were not designed to last this long. The fact that these cars, like, dude, they built them inexpensively back then. They built them inexpensively. Like, you could still fix them, but these cars weren't designed to last that long. They really weren't. I mean, if you took care of them, they would last a good while, but that's the case with any car, you know? And the engine is still good? Yeah. The only big wear item that will make that engine be end of life is, well, so it's called cylinder taper, okay? That's the big thing with these engines. So what's cylinder taper? So you have your piston, right? Your piston goes up and down inside of the cylinder, right? Going up and down, drives the crankshaft, et cetera, like basically a steam engine. It's not. It's an internal combustion engine. I know the difference. It's the same motion. It's called a reciprocating motion. So the idea there, right, just for anybody that doesn't know, is that it takes the piston going up and down. It takes linear motion and converts it to rotational, shaft power, rotational motion. So you can turn a wheel. Kind of important. If the wheels were squares, it wouldn't work very well. So the bore taper is so the piston's going up and down, right? Bore taper, it happens with an engine that's tired, and the bore actually, at the top, because that's where the explosion happens, it goes out of whack like this, and the cylinder becomes tapered. Now, don't get me wrong, you won't really notice too much of a difference. You're not going to make as much power, but like, it doesn't necessarily sound weird, right? What happens is you get a lot of blow-by, basically because the cylinder's tapered. When the explosion happens, some of the explosion blows by the O-rings, or the piston rings. They're not O-rings. SRB blow-by is the exact same phenomenon, but with a solid rocket booster, just in case anybody was wondering, to tie this all back into space. So bore taper on these things, on these old cast iron engines, it doesn't matter, Ford, Chevy, Dodge, bore taper is your enemy, right? That happens. I don't think this thing has much taper in it, to be honest. An old guy drove this car around till 1994, and then it was sitting from 1994 until 2013, right? So I don't think this thing has bore taper, to be honest. I think it's a lifter. In fact, I know it's a lifter. I think that the what's called the lower end, so the part with the piston and the crankshaft, that part is actually okay. It seems okay. I can tell because when I go to crank the motor, it doesn't really move around too much, but when it starts firing off, the motor starts shaking. If your motor starts shaking and it has a rough idle like that, it could be that, but it might be misfiring. It could be the stuck cylinder or the stuck valve, et cetera, et cetera. So here's the thing. Even if the bores are tapered out, if you bring it to a machine shop, what they do is they get rid of the taper by sending a drill, a very fancy drill down there, and they'll make the diameter of the pistons wider, the diameter of the cylinder wider, but they'll realign it. You could punch these motors out. That's called boring. It's called boring an engine. If you bore the engine, you're increasing the diameter of the piston, of the cylinder, and thus the piston and the O-rings inside of it. I say O-rings, they're piston rings, idiot. And you can keep doing that until you hit a gallery, an engine gallery, like a coolant gallery. Like, you could punch these motors out pretty big. I know because Chrysler did that. They made the 318 first, which is a 5.2 liter, and then Chrysler figured out that thing was built pretty stout, so they bored it out and they offered it in 340 cubic inches, right, which is 5.6 liter, and then 360 cubic inches, which is 5.8 liters. Mopar themselves, Dodge themselves, punched their own motors out because they're like, oh, you can make more power doing that, but everything is a trade-off. Cars, rockets, whatever. Everything's a trade-off. Punching the motor out means it won't last as long. But what's lasting as long? Like, what does that mean? So, yeah, the only wear item is the bore. If you hit maximum bore, which is, I don't know what max, like what you could punch a 318 out to, maximum. If you hit maximum bore, that's it. Then the engine's done. You'd have to change the engine block. We are for what it's worth, dude, we're nowhere near that with that motor. You give this thing a good set of, I mean, dude, we could take the motor apart. I could show you. Someday we'll show you all this stuff. Only if I get the 5.7 in there, right? We'll take this apart and we'll rebuild it. I'll show you. These things, not like these. I mean, dude, the block is cast iron. It's a cast iron V8. It's not breaking, unless you do something really dumb to it, right? It's not breaking. With normal driving operation, it'll last forever. Like until you punch the cylinders out enough where you can't punch them out anymore, and you bore the thing out so it expands into the cooling galleries, and then the motor's junk. Freeze plugs? I have no idea. Fist is 99 months. Cool. Hey, Paul, what's going on? Can you oversize the rings? Yeah, of course. Sure. Yeah, like I said, it's all rebuildable. Anything is rebuildable, but the big thing is the block. That's the main wear item here. And once again, it's a motor from the US from the 1960s. You would have to try to break that thing. You'd have to really try. 318s are really strong engines. They're just, once again, always a trade-off. You want more performance out of the engine, something is more likely to break, right? This thing is detuned. It's less performance, but that engine will last forever. It doesn't make a lot of power, but it'll last. If we wanted to, we could just fix that and put it back in. Really, once again, it really depends on EJSA procurement. We have to talk to the procurement department. So yeah, if we do get that 5.7, if we do get that donor vehicle, oh, we don't have to worry about that. We'll rebuild the 5.7 and then throw it in there. That should be fun. If we don't get the donor vehicle, we take this 318 out, we rebuild it, and we make it make more power. With this car, guys, I don't need 500 horsepower in this car. It's a car for the street, all right? It's something I want to tool around in. I basically want it to work like a decent enough daily driver, just like the truck. That's where I want to get all my cars to. I want to get them to the point where you could daily drive them, and it's not a big deal. And then, you know, with the 97, with the 59, with the Coronet, with the Mustang, that's when we start having, you know, oh, maybe we need more power. Who knows? So, yeah, this thing right now, 400 horse, 300 horse would be fine. 300 horsepower in this car is a lot. That's a lot of power for this car. It's not a lot of power nowadays. You know, you get cars from the factory making 600-700 horsepower. Hellcat engines, 700 horsepower from the factory. The Demon makes 1,000 horsepower from the factory, right? I don't need that in this. The other thing is that this car is light. Believe it or not, it's really light for its size because there's not a lot of stuff in here. It's just big. There's not a lot of, there's like no airbags. There's not all the electronic stuff that's in here. It's not very heavy. There's just a lot of space. It's a lot of empty space in this car. Lots of space in this car. So, dude, 300 horse in this is no joke. It's quick. That's fast. That's fast for this car. What's the weight? Oh, I don't know. Dude, I don't know. Maybe 3,300, 3,400, maybe. Old Simplicity, that's right. And oh yeah, we got lots of rust to reduce weight. Don't worry. Yeah, Willie, that's basically the plan. It's for real estate. So yeah, like I said, 400 horse is plenty to have fun with this. You'll see. You'll see. Okay, anyway, I want to show you more stuff. Your old man's Mach 1 is about 4,000 pounds. Yeah, it's somewhere between 36, nah, I'd say 34 and 3,800 pounds. This car does not weigh very much. I'm telling you. Like, look. Doesn't weigh very much. I mean, I get it. That's just moving the suspension up and down. I understand. And the shocks, we might need new shocks too. But it's not heavy for what it is. This is not, there's a lot of empty space. See, look. There's a lot of empty space up in here. It looks heavier than it is. 36 to 3,700 pounds, that's not light. Okay, you show me another 19-foot long car that's 3,600 pounds, Hellfish. Yeah, show me another one. I'd be curious. Google says 3,200. That's what I'm saying, Zorox. Like I said, between 33 and 36, it's somewhere in there. It's not like I said, yeah, between 14 and 1,600 kilograms. Now, once again, that's not, with 400 horse, you're good. It's a good power to weight ratio. That's perfect for the street. That's where I'm aiming. For a little bit of an example, this car is longer than my 97 F250. The Tough Enough truck, the Route 154 truck. It is longer than that, right? That truck weighs 5,000 pounds. Yeah, that truck's very heavy. This thing is longer than it. So, I mean, once again, Hellfish, it's all relative. You can sit there, 32, yeah, whatever. Whatever, dude, sure. That trunk is about half the size of the bed. Yeah. So, let's get back to it. I'll show you where there's other problem areas. So, get ready for some gore. This is not going to be fun. This part's not going to be a good time. But I'll show you anyway. Ready? Okay. I need the light. Give me the light. Where's the light? There's you guys. Do you see that? That's not great. You see that? That's not great. So this is a big problem. That right there is the torsion bar cross member. This should be solid. There should be no holes here. This should be one solid piece going this way. Yeah, that's clearly not. And spoiler alert, it's like that on both sides. Yeah, and there's a hose clamp. Oh, I've been looking for that. I was wondering where that thing went. It's like that on both sides. It needs a new torsion bar cross member. That's bad. So see that's the suspension right there. See that bar? This thing? That's the back of the suspension. This thing, and don't get me wrong, that's pretty solid under there. This part is not. But this is where the structure of the car carries to the rocker, to this piece. Now, this piece is pretty solid. The rocker is pretty good. It's a little rusty right there. That can be patched, not a problem. Going back, it's actually pretty solid. We have a little bit of a problem there. And back there is a big trouble spot. But if you look, this is just the outer panel. That's not the part that carries the structure. The part that carries the structure is in there. It's behind that hole. That part is still solid. So this is aesthetics, believe it or not. This part is aesthetic. That's easy to fix. That's not easy to fix. That's going to require some work. A lot of work. That's a huge problem. Once again, this is a big structural cross member for the car. It's holding the front suspension together. Because that bar, like I said, that bar is the suspension. That's the torsion bar mount. Yeah, this is all going to need to be redone. Now, they do make these. They make these things, that you can buy them. You can buy reproduction parts. So that's not that big of a deal. The front quarter up here is pretty good, actually. It's really not that scaly. Just a little bit of crap right there. And that's about it. This thing is actually pretty solid, except for that. But once again, you can buy rockers. That's totally doable. There's a mouse nest in there, by the way. So that's a big one. And this is what I mean when I say I know people are going to look at this and be like, don't bother. I don't know how to do this, and I want to learn how to do this. So when a car that is worth money comes around, we can buy it, and we can fix it right. So I'm going to learn on this car that no one cares about, except for me. So that needs to be fixed. That's a big problem. The doors are totally solid, front and back, on both sides, which is good. That's really good. The rocker on the other side does have problems. It's the same thing. The torque box is shot. That's such a big deal. That's going to be hard to fix, because in order to fix that, you got to take the torsion bar out. If you take the torsion bar out, your front suspension doesn't exist, because that's your tension. That's no good. So in order to get at that thing, I need to take the torsion bars out. And if you need to take the torsion bars out, you need to take the whole front suspension out of the car. Not complicated per se, just a lot of work. So yeah, the sooner we get that done, the better. But yeah, that connector that goes this way, that connects the torsion bar box to the inner rocker, that is a huge structural component. That is the rigidity for this car. Now, once again, another reason why I'm not too incredibly worried about this is because of the post. The post is fine. So the car hasn't begun to sag. It hasn't done this, all right? And that's because this, all up here, all this metal is still good. And the rocker is still good. So that's holding everything true for now. But that's what I mean when I say, I've said it plenty of times on stream, that's what I mean when I say if I left this out anymore and this started to rust out and we started to lose the roof structure and the pillars, there would be no car left. There would be nothing to fix. But we got it in time. We got it in time. There's still a lot of good metal here. Like, do you hear how it's making the like a ringing noise, like a resonant noise when I hit it? Like you hear that bong, bong, bong. That's how you know it's A, not Bondo, so not filler, and B, it's not rusty. It'll make a different noise when you get near the rust. Hear the difference? So this is that's all good. See what I mean? A little bit of rust right there. That's fixable. Easy. That's an easy fix. That's not bad. I could just get the welder, sand this down, get the welder, zap it, and grind it flat. No problem. That needs to be fixed, but the inner rockers are good. Now, let's go a little bit further this way. We get back here. Once again, the rocker is shot, but the inner rocker right there, the inner rocker is fine. See this? That's structure. That's important. The outer parts here are going to need to be redone. They make patch parts for this. I'm not worried about it. Once again, part of the reason why I'm choosing to redo this car in the first place is because it's on the same chassis as a Dodge Charger from 1969 as well. And a lot of these parts are exactly the same. This is literally a Charger with 4 doors. That's what it is. It's almost the exact same shape. It just has 4 doors. That's all. Chrysler did that to save money. Make as many variants of one car as you can with the least amount of engineering. So, see this? This is all junk. We got to fix that. The stainless is still good. The wheelhouse is not great up in there. But once again, all fixable. No problem. This is fixable. They make wheelhouses for this. That's the structure up in here. The wheelhouse would be the piece of metal that's behind this that is kind of the house for the tire. It's like kind of up and around up there. If you see that. That's not great. That needs to be redone. Wheelhouses can be fixed. No problem. They make them. There is some rust on the quarter right here, and it's bubbling through right there. The reason why it's bubbling through is because the wheelhouse is shot. The reason why the wheelhouse is shot is because where the rear tires are, it's constantly kicking up dirt and grime up in here, and they didn't know, but if the dirt and grime gets stuck somewhere, it'll just, anytime it gets wet, it'll just hold water there and it'll rust it. See, it's bubbling right there. You see that? You can just see those paint bubbles right there. That is savable. We can fix that. That savable. You can fix this. I don't even need a patch panel. We just need some metal. We just cut this out. We got to see what's waiting behind this stainless strip right here, but on these cars, usually this on these cars, this part goes, the back end right here. There's a downward piece that comes from the trunk, and it holds a ton of dirt. Yeah. So this is rusting from the inside out. This is actually not rusting from the outside in. And that brings me to what's behind door number 4. Give me 1 second. I will show you guys what's going on there when I readjust the cameras. So once again, that's what I mean. Nobody in their right mind would try and restore this car. But I'm not in the right mind, so screw it. What was that? Body filler from 1956. That was sealed to seal between 2 gaps of metal. I think that's what that was. I think. Let me move this camera down here and I'll show you guys the trunk. Spoiler, it's a lot more of what you just saw. Give me 1 moment. Okay. So how's the motor in this car? Oh, it's got a stuck lifter to the trunk. Okay, so pros and cons. Everything is a pro, and everything has pros and cons. So, do you want the good news first, or do you want the bad news first? Good news. All right, cool, sweet. So, the good news is, look, the trunk works. Hey, all right. More good news. The trunk is fine. The lid, mint condition. This thing's worth a lot of money. Well, as much money as a car, a 56-year-old, deck lid is worth. It's mint. Somebody ripped off all the factory stickers. I'm not sure why you'd do that, but whatever. That's all the good news. All right, cool, sweet. Here, look down here. That's bad news. It needs a whole new trunk pan. Now, once again, they do make these. Auto Metal Direct makes all this. It makes all of it. They make all of it because, once again, Dodge Charger, everybody wants one of those. So there's a huge market for fixing B-body Chryslers, which is good for us. That's bad. Spray it with bed liner. Spray what with bed liner? There's nothing to spray. See this right here? That's the gas tank. Not great. That's the top of the gas tank. That should, I mean, you know, I'm no rocket scientist. I mean, only on the weekends or the weekdays. That's not supposed to do that. That's not good. This is totally shot. Yeah, junk. So the trunk has the main pan, and then over in the corners over here, right, you have this seam. Here, let me just flip this so I can see it. You have a seam right here, and out from here out is called the trunk pan extension. The pan extension looks to have a ton of seam sealer on it over here, and it's actually not too bad. This is actually all pretty solid, but the outside of this panel actually is not doing too bad. We're gonna have to scrape all this seam sealer off and really see what's going on down there. This is all stuff that, this is the factory stuff up here. I don't know if you guys can see this gray right here. That's the sealer that they put from the factory. This was done by a dealership. They filled that thing up with goop, which is probably what we saw pop out of the. That's probably what we saw pop out of the bottom of the car when we were knocking that over there. That's actually not too bad, but we're gonna have to dig it up to see. That's the wheelhouse right there. There's two. It's made in two pieces. There's the inner and the outer. So the outer wheelhouse is over there. The outer wheelhouse on that side needs work. And yeah, here, let's look over here now. So this is, once again, water was pooling up in here, and yeah, see, water was pooling up in here and destroyed the outer trunk extension right there. Did you see what I just did here? For the people that, this is for the people in the back. Yeah, I know, it's gross. See that? That's not supposed to do that. The trunk extension is completely separated from the trunk pan. Yeah, that's not great. Not great. Which leads me to the worst of the worst. Here, this is by far and away the worst part of this car. This is a big problem. This is on par with the torque boxes. The torque box not being good. If we just take a little peek right here. Junk. This is junk. So why is this junk? This right here is the rear structure for the car. The frame rail is underneath it. The frame rail is what's holding all of this stuff together. That's the, to speak in Kerbal terms, this is your root part. There's two of them on either side. That's the root part. This is a huge structural component. The reason why it's a huge structural component is it's holding the suspension together. That's what this piece is over here. If we can just bend this up, see this piece? That right there is holding the rear suspension together. There's a huge brace right here that holds everything together. Now, the braces and the rail is actually not too bad. The end of the frame rail is caca. It's junk. It needs to be replaced. Once again, they make this part. The frame rail, they make the frame rail extensions, they make all these pieces, they make the pins, they make everything. Seriously, you could buy all the underpinnings. I can buy parts for this 56-year-old vehicle. It's not a big deal. It needs a new sill right here, because if you go monkeying around with the bumper, now once again, this is going to be one of those watch closely, it's kind of hard to see, right? Watch right here. Let me zoom in for you. See this piece right here? This is what triangulates. This is what squares off the frame rail. So the frame rail is connected to this sill piece right here, right? And the sill piece is a big bar that goes to the other frame rail on the other side of the car, and it also mounts the rear valance, which is what your taillights are attached to, and it serves as the structural mount for the rear bumper. Okay? Watch the sill plate when I move the rear bumper. Junk. The whole back of this car needs to be taken apart. The whole back. Like, when I mean the whole back, I mean the entire back of this car. Which sucks, but whatever. Yeah, this all needs to be redone. It needs to be rebuilt. It needs a new pan. That is a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Once again, I ain't shying away from it. I want to learn. I want to figure it out. I'll figure it out. They make the parts for this. Everything is fixable with these old cars, which is cool. So that's the trunk. That down there is a big, big problem. That needs to be fixed like immediately. Immediately. Car of Theseus. I don't care if the only real parts on this thing, that I care even remotely about being original is the engine. The engine and the transmission being original to the VIN. That's the only thing I care about. And the engine is fixable. Even if we swap another engine in, I'm keeping the stock motor. Trunk's huge though. You see how big that is? It's gigantic. You can put whatever in there. So much room for activities. So, how many streaming hours do you expect? I don't know. I have no way to tell you, Martin. I have no clue. I've never done this before. I know what it takes to fix that because I like reading about the assembly line and how it's brought together. But just because you read about how the car is put together doesn't mean you know how to fix it. And that's where the fun comes in for you guys. You guys will see it just like you saw it with the other one. Yeah, Element. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you know, you get it. In fact, in the States, I don't know if this is a thing anywhere else. In the States, they used to measure trunk space by how many people can fit in it. Oh, you got a 3-body trunk there. Well, why are you putting people in the trunk? I hit a deer, and I was putting deer in the trunk. One of my favorite streamers watching paint dry in your family's garage. Nice. Baron, your dad owned a 69 Coronet. He complained about the rust and engine carbs being bad. I told him about your car. He told me to ask you about the suspension and steering wheel situation. He had his failed bushings and ball joints not long ago. Believe it or not, the bushings are fine. The brakes don't work. Tires are good. Yeah, the bushings aren't actually too bad under there, which is weird. Those things have no right being in the condition that they're actually in. It's actually pretty good. Drive-in movies. Oh, yeah. Drive-ins. Yeah. People in the trunk doesn't count towards the HOV limit, yeah. Brakes don't work is kind of a big deal. Yeah, Raiden, we'll fix this. Raiden, let me put it to you like this. This thing wouldn't pass TUV right now, unfortunately. That was a joke. They would laugh you out of the building. Oh, okay, it's going to be a rot. Yeah. Brakes are like last on the list. You sure about that? Yeah. The brake's not working? Yeah, kind of. Based on how the 59 stream went, most of the repairs won't be streamed. What? Dude, Geek and I streamed putting the entirety of the 59 back together. I plan on streaming more of this, all right? I wouldn't be giving this whole episode, so to speak, wouldn't be like me giving you a rundown on the car and everything and what it is, you know? And we got it running, yep. You said you'd been driving it. I've been driving it. I drove it from 2017 to 2020 before it was this bad. What's the part availability situation for the Coronet? A lot. The Coronet is, once again, Baron, the Coronet is it has the same underpinnings and it's the same platform as a Charger. Every single part that is bad on this car can be replaced. They make parts for them. I know because the Torque Box cross member is right here in this catalog, right there. Same with floor pans. Same with shifters, same with Torque Box reinforcement. This is Classic Industries, in case anybody was wondering. Everything can be replaced. There's enough parts in here to build one. Those are floor pans right there. Floor pan connectors, roofs, roof structure, everything. Heck, you can buy new firewalls for it if you want. There's enough parts in here to build one from scratch. You could build one from nothing. You can buy the entire front frame rail assembly. I mean, that's for an E-body, but you get the idea. Yeah, the part availability, about as good as you're going to get. And that's the other reason why I'm choosing to mess with this car. And that's the original reason why I bought it in the first place back in the day, because it can be fixed. Everything, dude, you could buy every single piece. Bumpers, see? Every bumper from every Mopar from the late 60s and 70s. There's even one, see this one right here, the 1480, that guy? That one is the car from my summer car. It's a 72 Coronet. The muscle car from my summer car, which we're playing a little bit later tonight, is a Coronet as well. It's a 72. This is a 69. It's almost the same car. Are they known to fit well? Classic Industries uses AMD, so yes, it's about as close as you're going to get to a factory replacement. Auto Metal Direct is a bunch of guys who've got the tooling, somehow got the tooling for these things, somehow. I don't know how they did it, or they repopped them. It could be that too. And somehow make reproduction parts. They have a stamping factory, and it's just stamping the cars together. So it's like half of an actual car factory. The only thing that they don't do is actually put the cars together. They make all the parts for them, though. I'm gonna need a lot of kill you to pay for this. Yep. What about interior and trim pieces? That's a struggle, and my dad had for the F100. Sorry, a lot of questions. Give me a moment. You buy new gauge clusters. I could sit here and flip through this and show you everything, but package trays, everything. Headliners, rugs. They even have rugs in here for four-door cars. I don't know why. It's probably because it's the same as a two-door car, but you can buy sunshades, everything. Everything. There's your headliners right there. It has no headliner. That's the roof. Excuse me, Strimmer, one tour of that factory. Did they obtain the stamps? I don't know if they got the stamps, Paul. Maybe. Maybe they did. Either that or, from what I've seen, they're really, really nice repops. Or reproduction. Repop is a slang term for reproduction. So, Baron, long story short, I've looked over the car a lot. And I've looked over to be able to show you guys everything. This car, all the parts that they don't make reproductions of. Somebody asked about the glass. The glass is fine. There's no cracks in it all around. The stainless for the 4-door is fine. The doors themselves, they don't make reproduction sedan doors. The doors are mint. They're fine. They got no rust on them. Believe me, all the water dripped off the doors and dripped down there and rusted the bottom of the car. So the doors are fine. The roof is different. That's fine. The interior is the same as a 2-door, believe it or not. What I would like to do is put 2 bucket seats in this and a center console, which would be kind of cool. And once again, it'll all bolt in, same underpinnings as a 2-door car. And the center, put a center console with a floor shift in for an automatic. That would be pretty cool. It even has the provisions for a manual without the doghouse cover. The provisions are there. The mounts are there. They may have got the old stamps and then had to use new ones. It's a 904, Baron. As long as your live streams burnouts, it's all good. So we see you reading the parts catalog at the beginning of each flame trench for the next 9 months. Joe, you didn't need to call me out like that, man. Damn. Yep. Do you already have a parts list of what you need and costs? This is an economical project or a passion project. Money is not much of a concern. Nick Potts halfway in between. The torque cross member that needs to be replaced, what I just told you, is $270. The trunk pan, I think it's about the same. I'd have to go look. I have not tallied everything up, dude. No, haven't done that, but here, I'm looking at floor pans right now. This is the trunk floor. I need MM1047B, which is a B body, 68 to 70, $350. You need the trunk extensions. I need those. Both the trunk extensions are shot. Plymouth B body, all Dodge B body, all no. Dodge B body, 68 to 70, $100 a pop. The point is that the patching parts are not expensive. It's the labor that gets you. Once again, the reason why I chose this car and why I want to mess with it and why I want to stream working on it is because there's parts galore. Where else can you buy a brand new trunk pan for a 56-year-old car? Now, with the 59, I couldn't do that. They don't make those parts because the 59 is not really sought after. This, however, is very sought after, at least the parts that matter. Once again, the Coronet is on the same chassis as a Dodge Charger. It's the same thing, but with 4 doors. That's why I call this a crew cab Charger. It's crew cab Charger, right? It's crew cab, like a pickup truck, like Bluefist, a pickup truck with 4 doors. It's crew cab Charger. Pull the seats out, you might need the entire floor pan. Yes and no. You need the front. I need the front part of the floor pans. I mean, we could do the whole floor. If we're going to do the torque box cross member, might as well put a new floor in. But I've thought about this already. We could they make a whole new stamping for the entire floor of this thing. How do I get that in there? Because the floor, the metal floor, sits on the cross members, right? There's a bunch of them that reinforce underneath the floor, like where your seat bolts into, right? Where your seat bolts into it, there's a structural piece underneath it that it's welded to, like that. Can't bring the floor in from the bottom. On a 2-door car, you could bring it in from the side because there's no post. I'm going to have to buy the sections of the floor. They sell the floor as one piece, and then they sell the sections. I'm going to have to buy the section pieces, which is fine. That's actually cheaper if I'm remembering right. Can't go from underneath. Can't do that. But once again, if we're replacing the torque cross member, we might be able to do it. It really depends. Does the body lift off the frame? No. This is a unibody car. There's no frame. What you see is the structure of the car. There's no frame. We can't lift it off. Hey, Procurement, EJ needs the lift now. Yeah. I wouldn't lift this thing up right now, to be honest with you, dude. I would not do that. It might fold in half. It might fold in half. I wouldn't do that. So yeah, we're not going to be able to do that. I'm looking for the floor pans. There we are. See? Look, they make the floor pans split. See that? They're split. You can buy it as one piece or you can buy splits. See, there's the one piece. We won't be able to do that. I can't get the floor pan in there unless I wanted to take the roof off of the car. The roof is the only thing that's holding this thing together right now because there's no floor. So we buy the halves, no problem. See them up there? The halves. We'll buy those. Those are direct factory replacements. And the transmission tunnel is fine, so it's good. That's where the $100 turbo goes. You could get the floor pan in the back windshield. No, you can't. Stop guessing. So, cool. Once again, there's your frame rail extensions. See these parts right here? Those are the parts that we need, the extension pieces. This car, the good thing is like I said, there's no good thing about rust. But the good thing is that this car is rusting in all the spots that B-bodies rust in. Just that it's rusting in all the normal places. Because it's rusting in all the normal places, there's parts. I could do, like I said, there's enough parts here to build an entire car. You could do it from the parts catalog. Maybe we'll do that someday, like way down the road when I actually don't have my head completely up my butt. I'll be right back 1 second. Mike might get a little poppy for a moment. Ow. So, that's where we're at, guys. That's pretty much everything. I wanted to get everything in one video to show where all the problems are. And that's not even including any unknown unknowns. So with this have a nitrous tank and injectors, Fast and Furious, EJ. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. No, not with this car. I don't want nitrous with this car. What I'm aiming for is a nice solid car with a 350 to 400 horse, a car that you could basically take a road trip vehicle. That's what I'm trying to, a road trip vehicle is what I'm trying to make. So what can you do right now without parts? Well, we got to get the brakes working. So, oh, Raiden, I do have another rule. There is another rule for this build. Do not take something apart unless you have the part to replace or fix. That's a big rule. The reason why that's a rule is that I made that mistake with the truck. I took the entire thing apart without knowing what I wanted to or needed to replace. And it stayed disassembled for 10 years. So do I have a plan of attack? Yeah. Yes, I do. I do have a plan of attack. So, where are we at? The brakes don't work. The engine runs. It runs okay. Once again, it's got lift or tick. But what I need this car to be right now, and this is what you're going to see for the, future wrenching streams for like today and maybe in the future. Rocket launch in 20 minutes. Jim, if they don't stream it, I'm going to be a little pissed, and I don't think they're going to stream it. So if they're not streaming it, we'll just go straight through, which kind of sucks, but because Minotaur launches are a treat. But the plan of attack, get the thing to run and drive. Not down the road, get it to run and drive. There's going to be times where I'm going to need to turn this car around and back it in. Like when we go to take the entire rear of the car apart. Yeah, we're gonna need to, I need this car to roll, I need it to run, and I need it to stop. That's where I'm starting. Are you a fan of Vice Grip Clear Coat, or you're going to paint this? Everyone doesn't want me to paint this. Everyone wants the patina, this cool, rusty crap box paint job that's just going to get worse and worse over time, even if we clear coat it. I think that's, not that I think it's overdone. I think at this point, painting it and making it look nice is different. It's different. I think that's kind of cool. What color did you have in mind? The factory color looks pretty damn sharp. There's a guy on YouTube that did restore one of these things. Here, look. And I must say, it looks pretty sharp when it's painted. It's a really nice looking car. That's got police rims on it. So those are the police interceptor rims. Police package. I think it looks really nice. To be honest with you, I think it looks great. The patina is cool. It's neat. Don't get me wrong. It's nice. But like, here's the thing, dude. If I do all the metal work on this car, we do all the metal work, I do everything to make that look all nice, what am I gonna do? Hit it with black spray paint? I mean, that would be the thing to do if you wanted to run and drive, and that probably is what I'll do in the interim time. I would eventually like this car to be painted. I really would. I think it would look really nice. I think patina, everyone does patina. It's not overdone, and I'm not hating. I think it's cool. It does look pretty sick, but there's nothing left here. There's nothing to patina. There's no patina. We're down to the metal, guys. Like in a lot of spots. Well, not a lot of spots, but see all the rust? See all the rusty crap that's happening here? That's down to the metal. There's no patina there. There's no paint. It's just bare metal. Yeah, we could throw like Vice Grip Shine Juice on it. That'd be kind of cool. Maybe we'll do that as an interim thing. I would like to paint it though, eventually. That was the color of your 67 Phoenix. What, the blue or the beige? Yeah, Rochelle, paint it back to original. Yep. I'm sorry, what year is it? It's 2020, 5th edition. Nice. Ironclad, this is a 69 Cornet. The blue. Yeah, so this is medium blue. Yeah, that Chrysler called this medium blue. That's what it is. I don't know if it's B5 blue. I don't think so. No, it's medium blue. That's the paint code. Doing right and make it look like a normal car. Hellfish, that's the thing. If we're gonna rebuild all this, torque box cross member, trunk, floors, rocker panels, quarters, trunk extensions, rear sill, rear valance, if I'm gonna put all that work into it, I want it to look nice. I don't want it to look like a crap box, man. I'm not, like, there it is, dude. Patina's cool, and this patina is sick. I don't want it for this car. If we're gonna do all that work, man, I don't want it. Phil, looks like there's no stream for L174. Yeah, Phil, Northrop Grumman, their stream might blow up on them, That would be bad, wouldn't it? Nader, you don't like the patina? Yeah. Do they offer air conditioning in 69? This car could come with air conditioning, Willie. Sure, absolutely. We would need to redo the dash pad a little bit. But once again, guess what? Guess what they make? Oh, baby. And once again, this is such a breath of fresh air comparatively to the 59. The 59, you can't find parts for that. You want parts for that? Find another 59 and junk it. Like, that's the only way to find parts for that truck, like original good parts. Wait a minute. Wait. Where's the dash parts? Where is it? Where are you? I gotta find it. Hold on. They had an observation on stream. They had an observation on the whole building once. They had an observation on the building and it liberated itself from the ground. There was a huge explosion at Northrop Grumman's SRB manufacturing facility this morning, guys. Thankfully, thank God nobody was hurt. The building is not a building anymore, though. Yeah, the building is not a building anymore. Let me put it to you like that. So we're going to need a repop dash here. See, they make dash pads right there. This morning, yeah, Nick, the building had a rud. Let's see. I need a 69 B body. Yeah, here we go. This right here is what we'd need to change. So the B body lower dash trim right there, they make the center dashes with AC. So yeah, of course, I could put air conditioning in this car. Sure. All the provisions are there. How they made cars back in the 60s, guys, you got to, okay, a little bit of understanding here just on cars, these cars and how they work. Cars in the 60s weren't like a lot. There was no dealership with a huge lot of cars. They had some, but dealerships generally didn't carry any inventory on hand. They had some cars here and there, some used cars, but it's not like today where you see a dealership and there's 100 cars sitting in front of it. That's not how they did things in the 60s. Everything, and I mean everything, was optional. Everything was optional. Mirror, optional. Seat belts, until 1967, optional. Airbags, what the hell are those? What the hell is that? Air conditioning, optional. Extra headlight, optional. You know, undercoating, optional. The idea is that you walked into a dealership, like if you walked into a Chrysler dealership in 1969, they would basically give you a Scantron sheet, you know, like you do the standardized testing, right? You just fill in the blanks. Like they'd basically give you a Scantron sheet of all the options that you want, and they would mail that Scantron sheet to the factory. And somebody at the factory would take that Scantron sheet, put it in a computer that looked like something from Fallout 4, right? And the car going down the assembly line would have that Scantron sheet on it. And guys physically working on the assembly line would look at the sheet and be like, oh, okay, this car has air conditioning. I need to install another bracket here. Or I need to put a dash in with air conditioning. Okay, let me grab a dash with air conditioning. Okay, what color is it? Okay, they need blue air conditioning. Okay, here we go. That's what they do. That's how they built it. You'd have to order the car and you fill out a little questionnaire. And there you go. That's how it would get done. They didn't really, that's where the term floor model comes from. What the dealership would do is they would have a coronet in the dealership with all the boxes checked, right? And the dealer would sit you in the car and be like, what do you like about this car? Do you like the air conditioning? Do you like the seat belts? Do you like that it's got 4 headlights? Ah, seat belts, I don't know about that. What is it, your wife's car or something? Like, that's how it worked, dude. That's how they did it. There is an auto manufacturer nowadays that still does that. They're relatively new and they begin with a T and rhyme with Schmeschla. That's how Tesla works. You order your Tesla from the factory. That's how they used to do it. That's how Ford, Chevy, and Dodge used to do things back in the day. Transmission, optional. Yeah. You want a 2-speed, you want a 3-speed, you want a 4-speed? Sure. You want a 6-cylinder, a small 8-cylinder, a medium-sized 8-cylinder, or a big 8-cylinder? You could get whatever. You just tick the boxes. You want 2-barrel carburetor, 4-barrel carburetor, 6-barrel carburetor? Sure. You could tick the boxes. So the cool thing about these cars is that the people that ordered them, they were ordered for purpose. They were ordered for a reason, and that's so cool. That tells a story. Did somebody buy this car to go to the drag strip and win money at the drag strip because they want to go faster than everybody else? Or did somebody buy this car to be a daily driver? Every single car tells a story because most of these cars were custom ordered. They were ordered from a dealership, which is so cool, man. I think that's super neat. The Schmessler dealership up the road from me has a full lot of cars, though. Yeah, they have pre-owns, John. They'd be used cars. But if you go in there and buy one, if you don't like something in the pre-owned inventory, they'll order you a new one. Made to order versus off the rack. That's right, man. That's how it was in the 60s. That's some real Mad Men stuff. Can you imagine going into a car dealership and not have the dealer getting up your butt about stuff? Like, sit you down in the car. Okay, what do you want? What do you want? Well, I tell you what, Bob, is your wife driving this car? Maybe we should put those seatbelts in. Like, all right, you want the extra safety? How much extra safety do you want? What is this, a fighter plane? Jeez, you're like, dude, that's how, like, going to the car dealership was an experience. That's cool, man. I wish it was still like that. I don't go to dealerships no more. I know more about the stupid thing than the damn dealer, you know? Yeah, ashtrays. You want ashtrays in the back seat? No, you don't. What are your kids riding in the back seat? You got to have ashtrays. That would be inconsiderate to people driving around in the car. You know? Why did we change it? I'd like to hear this story of the Detroit Ghost or whatever. I know the ghost is named some random dude just living life. Bought a clapped-out car with all the fast options. We'll go out once in a blue moon, street race people, and cream everyone, then go back into hiding. Sleeper, dude. That's what a sleeper is. Now we have supply chain issues, and it gets 13 months to get your car. I'm not trying to have entropy set in, dude. I'm just telling people how cool this was. It should be like this. This is how it should be. That would be cool if we could go back to this now. But either way, yeah, car tells a story. Now, okay, next bit. I'm doing a lot of talking today. I swear we'll do wrenching. I'm trying to get all that I know about this car and all the problems and everything. I'm trying to get all of it in one video, okay? So, okay, first of all, if you're watching the YouTube VOD, you've gotten this far, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, there will be more wrenching is coming, but I wanted to get all the history of this car and what's wrong with it, et cetera, all into one video. Working, yeah, exactly. So, yeah, you could still custom order cars, Nader, but it's not a thing. Did you specifically order the Antarctic Blue Super Sport with CB and optional rally fun pack? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. Just got here. Can you start over? We picked up our 62 Ford wagon at the factory. That's awesome, James. Yeah, so speaking of that. So this car, what story did it tell? Here's what I know about this automobile. It was built in, oh crap, I forgot what month. It was built in 1969. I think it was an earlier car, so February, I think. I'd have to go look at the build sheet, and the build sheet I just realized is not here. It's at my parents' house. Should probably go get that. I have the Scantron sheet, guys, that I was telling you about. The Scantron sheet that tells you all the options. I have it. It's at my parents' house. It's kind of ratty, but I have it. A mouse tried to eat half of it, but we have it. So this car was built sometime in '69, and as far as I can tell, it was ordered from a dealership out of New Hampshire, and a guy bought it in '69 and drove it basically to 1994. It's a one-owner car. I'm the second owner of this automobile. It was parked in '94. The last inspection sticker, New Hampshire State inspection sticker on it, which I'm not even sure is a thing anymore, originally back in the day said '94 on it. So that was the last time the old registration, everything was driven. That's the last time it was driven. Craigslist rebuild. Yeah, the receipt's at my parents' house. Yeah. It was parked in 94, and as far as I can tell, until about 2012, when the guy that drove it passed away, yeah, it's sat. It's sat from 94 to 2013, or 2012, excuse me. A guy that in Massachusetts that bought it in an estate sale, right? And he was going to part it out. He was going to part it out to build a 69 two-door. But he decided he wanted to put it on Craigslist. It was Craigslist at the time, 2012, 2013. He decided he wanted to put it on Craigslist because the car is complete. It's got everything. Everything is here. It's got the matching numbers motor. All the original stuff under here. No one has screwed with it. This guy, the original driver of this car, drove it, did all the routine maintenance as far as I can tell, right? Like, this car was pretty babied from what I can tell. Like, that's why it's in the condition that it's in. I mean, the most of the rot and rust is from having it sit for so long, right? It's in pretty decent condition for what it is. Like, the glass and the stainless is a pretty dead giveaway. You know, this is all in really, really nice condition. It's really not bad. This car was not, it was just daily driven, right? So the guy bought it from an estate sale, and because the car is complete and everything is here, no one's really been around in it. It was just parked. Now, I don't know why it was parked. I think the guy just got old, or he bought another car. Because when the other dude, the dude that bought it from the estate sale that I bought it from, we'll call him Dave, right? That's not his name, but when Dave bought it, he found nothing wrong with it. There's really nothing wrong with it. It's got all the parts. Everything is there. Everything's here. He couldn't figure out why it would have been parked other than the guy just getting old, right? And because it was so complete, he decided he didn't want to part it out, and he sold it for nothing. He sold it for $1,400, and that's when I bought it. Dave, before me, never registered the car. So on paper, I'm the second owner. Technically the third owner of the car. Does it start? Yeah, of course it does. Oh, dude, it runs. Yeah, no, she runs. Dude, yeah, no, it runs. It's just got no brakes. And once again, that's the history of the car as far as I know. Now, in terms of where to start, we need to start with getting at least some of the brakes operable. So what time is it? It's 3 o'clock. Cool. Said the time on the wall said 3 o'clock. Last call. No, not last call. We haven't even started yet. It's at my mom's house in the basement. It actually is at my parents' house in the basement. Yeah, it's in a file cabinet in the basement. That's weird, can't see me. How did you know that? Master cylinder is probably out of brake fluid. It does have a broken brake line. Now, okay, so what are we going to do today? Like I said, I need to get the brakes operable. Something. I need to get something. I need to get the car to be able to stop. Right now, the only way to move it is the parking brake. Or the only way to stop it is the parking brake. It does run and it does drive. Oh, it absolutely moves. It got in here. Well, it almost got in here on its own power. I got it about halfway in the garage, and then it decided to run, and I actually drove it in. The brake line that goes to the rear, junk. It's rusted. It's rusted out. It's gone. Gone. Reduced to ashes. So, when I had the car, when I got it running and driving in 2016, I gave it a new master cylinder, and it's got stainless steel brake lines up front and new hoses. Those are fine. So what I'm thinking for right now, what we can do today, cap the rear brake line, bend it off because it's already junk, and bleed the front brakes and get 2 out of 4 brakes working. You got to start somewhere. Sounds like you need to fix the front brakes and cap off the back. Slim, my guy, high five. Whoosh. You don't need to worry about rear brake. It's just redneck line lock, guys, okay? Seriously, the car will do amazing burnouts. If you press the brakes, rear brake lines are capped, and you step on the gas, front wheels will lock up and the rear wheels will start spinning like crazy. It'll do a great burnout. So that's what I want to do today. So it's a burnout car now. For now, yes. Braking is like 80% front brakes anyway. Yep. So, okay. With all that being said, let's get to it. Let me get the cameras and the lights up here, and we'll start. I'm just going to put the splash screen up real quick, so we can make a good bookmark in the VOD. Okay. So let me switch it. I'll just switch it to high cam. So yeah, that's what we're doing, dudes. Let's get to it. I'm done talking. The whole idea was to get enough talking done. Get enough talking done so when we go to do more wrenching, we don't have to worry about it too much. I can just refer people to this VOD. All right. Needs a blower like the Monte Carlo. I don't want to put a blower in it, boss man, because that would mean, well, okay, let me put it this way. If we put a blower in it, I'm not cutting up this mint condition 69 Coronet hood. We're not cutting a hole in this. I would rather crush the car than do that. Actually, no, but you get the idea. This thing's in mint condition, and these hoods, old stock hoods, are worth money. They're worth a lot of money. That's what centrifugal blowers are for. Oh yeah, we got plenty of space down here. You imagine this thing? Centrifugal 5.7. Oh my goodness, that would be cool. We would put a turbo on it. We would want to have forced induction on it for the fuel economy or something. All right. New episode. Nick Paw, yeah. I might need to jog the YouTube VOD. That's probably what I'll do. Yeah, we'll do that. That's a good idea. I'll jog the YouTube VOD, and I'll be right back. Needs a K-swap. No. All right, so on YouTube, just stand by for a quick jog on the VOD. We'll go to episode 2, getting the brakes working. And on Twitch, just chill for a second. We'll get to wrenching in a moment. It's got a 318 in it with a 904 behind it. Okay, so here we are. That's going to end episode 1, and we're going to go right to episode 2. So on YouTube side of things, I'm just going to jog it real quick. We'll be back in a second. Twitch, don't go anywhere. Just going to show the title screen for probably like the next minute or so. I'll be right back.